I'm putting myself to the test. Can I survive a whole week reading only on my e-reader? Or will I miss my beloved physical books too much? That's the question that brings us here today.
Hey bookworms, and welcome back to the Page Club.
Always a pleasure to be back.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this deep dive with your friends.
Especially those who are still on the fence about ditching paper for pixels.
Because today we're diving into the age-old battle.
Kindle.
Physical books.
We've both spent some quality time with both.
Yeah.
And let's just say we've got some thoughts. I think this is going to be a fun one.
I think so too. I have a feeling we might butt heads on a couple things here.
Oh, for sure.
But that's what makes it interesting, right?
Absolutely. What's interesting to me is how deeply people connect with their preferred reading format.
You're telling me.
It goes beyond just the practicalities, you know?
Right.
It taps into a sensory and emotional experience.
Absolutely. I mean, that new book smell,
Yeah.
the weight in your hand,
Yeah.
the satisfying sound of turning pages.
Cat crinkling.
It's just magical.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
But before we crown physical books the champion of feel,
Okay.
let's give the Kindle its due.
All right, fair enough.
The texture is surprisingly tactile,
Yeah.
almost velvety, and that e-ink screen. It's a far cry from your typical tablet glare. It really does mimic the look and feel of paper remarkably well.
I'll admit, the Kindle's texture is way better than I expected.
Right.
But for me, nothing truly replicates the feeling of paper between your fingers. It's a point for physical books.
Okay, I'll concede that one.
But maybe not a knockout just yet.
Right.
Let's dive into something a little more practical. Readability, note-taking, ease of access.
Yeah.
The text itself. There's a lot to unpack
I
here.
think you'll find this is where the Kindle starts to shine.
Okay, go on.
Take note-taking, for example.
Yeah.
With the Kindle, you can highlight and annotate using just your finger.
Oh, yeah.
No more hunting for a pen or highlighter.
That is true. But I do love scribbling in the margins and having that visual record of my thoughts on the page. And let's be honest, typing longer notes on a Kindle screen
Oh, yeah.
can be a bit of a chore.
It's not the easiest.
It doesn't have the same responsiveness as, say, a phone or a tablet.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But here's where the Kindle's integration with Goodreads comes in.
Oh, really?
Any notes or highlights you make on your Kindle automatically sync to your Goodreads account.
Okay.
You can access them from your desktop later, which makes organizing and reviewing your notes so much easier.
Wait, hold on a second. For those who might not know,
Right.
can you explain what Goodreads is
Of course.
and how it all works?
Goodreads is basically a social platform for book lovers.
Okay.
You can track your reading, rate books, write reviews, and connect with other readers. The Kindle integration means you can see all your notes and highlights
Oh.
right there, alongside your book, details on Goodreads. It's a fantastic tool for serious readers.
That is pretty cool. Okay,
Okay.
Kindle gets points for that integration feature.
I'll take it.
But let's move on to ease of access. For me, nothing beats the speed of flipping through a physical book to find a specific section.
Yeah.
It's instant gratification.
There's a certain charm to that, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to portability and storage,
Right.
the Kindle blows physical books out of the water.
Yeah.
Think about it. You can carry an entire library
Oh, my gosh.
in a device that fits in your bag.
In your pocket, almost.
No more lugging around heavy books or agonizing over which ones to pack for a trip.
Right. But I will say, the only time I really miss that quick flipping is when I want to share a passage with someone.
Uh-huh.
You know, that, hey, check this out moment.
I see your point, but let's be realistic. How often does that actually happen? Well, and wouldn't it still be easier to carry one lightweight Kindle than multiple physical books, just for those rare sharing occasions?
You got me there.
Plus, with the Kindle, you can easily search for specific words or phrases within a book.
That's true.
Try doing that with a physical copy.
Okay, you win that round. I admit the search function is pretty handy.
It is pretty great.
But let's get to the heart of it all, the actual reading experience.
Yeah.
How does the text itself compare between the two formats?
This is where the Kindle's customization features really shine. You can adjust the font size and style to your liking,
Oh, yeah.
which is a game changer for anyone with visual impairments or who just prefers a larger or different font. It makes reading much more comfortable and accessible.
Absolutely. And the flat screen eliminates that annoying page curvature
Right.
you get with physical books, where you feel like you're losing words in the binding.
Right.
Every word is perfectly visible on the Kindle.
It's all about maximizing readability.
Right.
And I think the Kindle does a fantastic job of that.
Our Kindle is definitely scoring some points in the readability category.
I think so.
But what about cost? How do these two options stack up financially?
Now that's where things get interesting. A Kindle Paperwhite will set you back around $199 in Australia.
That's right. And considering a new hardcover can easily cost $30 or more.
Yeah.
The upfront cost of a Kindle seems pretty steep.
It does, but that's where we need to think work. Kindle books are often significantly cheaper than their physical counterparts. You're looking at savings of $5 or more per book on average, and if you're a voracious reader like me, those savings really add up over time.
So you're essentially making an investment in your reading habit.
Yeah.
If you buy, say, 40 Kindle books,
Right.
you've practically earned back the cost of the device through those savings.
Exactly, and that's not even factoring in the hidden costs of physical books.
Oh, what do you mean?
Things like shelf space storage boxes, when your collection overflows, even the environmental impact of paper production and shipping.
Now, those are some thought-provoking points. I hadn't considered the environmental angle before. But let's be honest. There's something undeniably satisfying about building a physical library. That feeling of pride as your shelves fill up with books you've loved, it's hard to replicate with a digital collection.
I understand that sentiment. There's a certain visual appeal to a well-curated bookshelf. It's a reflection of your personal journey as a reader.
And some books just beg to be experienced in their physical form.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking about those gorgeous coffee table books with stunning photography or art or classic novels with those beautiful cover designs you want to display.
You make a great point. Certain books transcend their function as vessels of words and become objects of art themselves.
Right?
For those, a physical copy seems almost essential.
But on the flip side, there are times when a Kindle is the clear winner.
For sure.
When you're traveling or commuting, for instance, or when you want to read late at night without disturbing your partner with a bedside lamp.
Absolutely. And let's not forget those massive tomes that would strain your wrists to hold for hours. A Kindle makes reading those doorstopper-sized novels so much more comfortable.
So it seems like this debate isn't really about crowning one format as the ultimate victor. It's more about acknowledging the unique strengths of each and recognizing that they can coexist beautifully in a reader's life.
I couldn't agree more. It's about embracing the diversity of the reading experience and finding the format that best suits your needs and preferences at any given moment.
Right. Are you someone who prioritizes portability and convenience? Do you value the tactile experience and visual appeal of physical books? Or are you driven by cost-effectiveness and accessibility features?
Yeah.
These are all factors worth considering.
What's fascinating to me is how the rise of digital reading has actually prompted a renewed appreciation for physical books. It's like a pendulum swing. We've explored the convenience and affordability of e-readers, and now there's a growing movement celebrating the artistry and craftsmanship of traditional bookmaking.
It's like we've come full circle, recognizing the value of both the old and the new.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the most important thing is that we're reading, engaging with stories and ideas, regardless of the format.
Well said, and that brings us to a crucial question. Has the way we read changed in the digital age?
That's a great question, and one that deserves a deep dive all its own.
There's been a lot of debate about whether digital reading affects our comprehension or attention spans. Some argue that the constant distractions of hyperlinks and notifications can make it harder to focus on the text.
Oh, totally. It's so easy to get sidetracked when you're reading on a device that's also connected to the internet. 1 minute you're engrossed in a novel.
Right.
And the next you're scrolling through social media or checking your email.
Exactly. And some studies suggest that the physical act of turning pages and the tactile experience of holding a book can actually aid in memory and comprehension.
It's like those physical cues help to ground us in the text and create a more immersive experience. I know I've definitely had moments where I've finished a chapter on my Kindle and realized I can barely remember what I just read.
It's a common experience, but it's important to remember that digital reading has its own set of advantages when it comes to accessibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Features like adjustable font sizes, built-in dictionaries, and text-to-speech capabilities can make reading a more inclusive and enjoyable experience for people with visual impairments, learning disabilities, or those who simply prefer listening to their books.
That's a fantastic point. Technology can really open doors for people who might otherwise struggle with traditional reading formats.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to reading.
Absolutely. And ultimately, the best way to engage with the text is the way that works best for you, whether that's curling up with a physical book or swiping through chapters on your Kindle.
Well said. So to all our fellow bookworms out there, whether you're team Kindle, team physical book, or somewhere in between, keep those pages turning or those screens glowing.
And keep exploring the boundless world of literature.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Kindle versus physical book debate? Do you have a strong preference for one format over the other? Share your insights in the comments below.
We always love hearing from our listeners.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Page Club for more deep dives into the world of books and reading. We'll be back soon with more bookish banter.
Until then, happy reading.